You might remember the scene from the 1987 movie Hoosiers. Head coach Norman Dale guides his team to the Indiana State Championship game. On the day before, they go through the walkthrough in the huge field house in Indianapolis. The Hickory Huskers are in awe of the building's size. Then Dale has an assistant measure the distance from the free throw line to the basket, as well as the height of the basket to the floor. In a matter-of-fact tone, Dale reminds his players that they are the same measurements back home in Hickory. Now, it wasn't necessary for the District 5-5A champion Aledo Bearcats to go through that experience prior to tonight's playoff game here in Argyle against 6th-ranked Birdville. But head coach Drew Baker and the Bearcats know they are underdogs in this Class 5A Division I Region I playoff opener. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Aledo Bearcats playoff basketball on NTX Varsity Sports.com. I'm Kevin Lonnquist, pleased to be bringing you Bearcats boys basketball streaming for the first time. I'm joined by new media director Parker Burrows. Aledo hasn't played a game since February 13th. The regular season finale was against Brewer. That's 11 days ago. Birdville's idle time isn't as long. It's been just a week. But the questions for the Bearcats to answer are how much rust is there and how quickly can they remove it so they can play at the level they were playing at, so they can get through the 5-5A season like they did, going 12-0 to win it, the second in school annals and the second championship in as many seasons. Baker's backcourt duo of Enrique Pacheco and Caden Cunningham said all the right things at the Aledo Coaches Show podcast on Monday. They believe they will be ready to go. More importantly, they know they need to be ready to go, facing a team that played for the 2025 5A Division I state title. Aledo is 26-6, Birdville is 27-5. The postseason is always going to come down to a team's guards play. Both Pacheco and Cunningham have blended well through this campaign, helping Aledo qualify for the playoffs for an unprecedented third consecutive year. Pacheco is averaging 15.6 points per game, along with 2.8 assists per game. As for Cunningham, it's 11.8 points per game, 4.6 rebounds per game, and 2.8 assists per game. Management of the offense will be crucial for these two. Now, Baker has allowed some offensive freedom, as you just heard. The Bearcats are averaging better than 61 points per game. Aledo broke 60 in all but one of its district games. But Baker has also put his defensive stamp on this program. Bearcats yield just 49 points per game. And that defense is going to get arguably its greatest test this season from the Hawks, who average 66 points per game and feature several scoring threats. They are led by 6'7" senior guard, yes, I said 6'7" senior guard Sawyer Dotson, a career 2,000-point scorer who is averaging nearly 21 points per game and has the ability to take a game over. He's dangerous from three-point range, well over 40%. Dotson has signed with Division I Lipscomb out of the Atlantic Sun Conference. Others to watch will be senior guard Avery Webb, who has signed with St. Mary's down in San Antonio. He's averaging nearly 20 points per game. And we could see an interesting battle in the low block that could favor the Bearcats between Aledo's 6'8" senior post Towns Van Huysen and Birdville's 6'6" senior forward Gabriel Zachariah. Aledo knows that a good start is necessary to give itself a chance, and if it remains somewhere in that 3 to 4 possession range going down the stretch, then it could come down to execution on both ends of the floor. The winner moves on to the area round later this week to play either Burleson Centennial or Arlington Heights. Those two are playing at 7 o'clock tonight as well. That game is at South Grand Prairie High School. We're coming to you from the Hiley Mazda broadcast table. When we return on our pregame show, we'll visit with Aledo head coach Drew Baker. Then we'll take a look at the Division I bracket in Class 5A Region I. That's followed by the starting lineups and the tip-off of tonight's game. So tell your friends and out-of-the-state family about this opportunity to hear the Bearcats play their playoff game on NTXVarsitySports.com. And it's for free. You're listening to Aledo Bearcats playoff basketball on NTXVarsitySports.com.
Texas drivers, it's time to move up to Mazda at Hiley Mazda of Fort Worth. Get a 2025 Mazda CX-5 Turbo with 0.9% APR or lease for just $259 a month. Or go electrified with the 2026 Mazda CX-70 FEV with 0.9% APR or lease from $299 a month. Plus $750 Mazda loyalty or $500 military appreciation. Hiley Mazda of Fort Worth and HileyMazdaofFortWorth.com.
Why are interscholastic sports called the last classroom of the day? Because they teach students important life lessons like teamwork, accountability, and perseverance. School sports are so much more than a game. They're about developing the whole person. That's why they're an essential part of every student's education.
Encourage your student to participate in the last classroom of the day. Interscholastic sports in Texas. This message presented by the UIL and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
Pre-game show continues. Now time to visit with Aledo head coach Drew Baker before the Bearcats' opening playoff game against the Birdville Hawks here in Argyle. And Coach, first of all, congratulations on a wonderful season for you all. Back-to-back district championships, undefeated district championship this year. And I know you'll probably have some time to reflect on it when the season's over, but if you take a 10,000-foot level as to what this team accomplished this year, in your first year, what kind of value and what does that mean to you?
That's a tough question right now because I haven't taken that pause. We're still in go mode. Man, I'm really proud of the guys. We just did a little hype video for them. It was a surprise. And there was some stuff all the way back to the summer and some of our shoot-arounds. And I mean, just like I'm extremely proud. Like they did what I thought they could do. And the exciting thing is we're not done. So to this point, we've accomplished what we thought, and then we have the opportunity to go and do what we want. And that's that next step. These guys are very hungry for that next step, very focused, very motivated.
And that was something you and I talked about on the podcast the last couple of times after you guys had played your finale against Brewer, and the fact that they were locked in. They weren't bothered by this long layoff between the Brewer game and tonight's game. And so just what are the things, though, that you saw in preparation this week that really gives you this kind of oomph, if you will?
Well, you know, like we mentioned on the show, Monday, Tuesday was a little more geared to Ryan. And then we found out Tuesday night. And so Wednesday we came in and there was no, you know, I guess like hiccup in shifting gears and preparing for Birdville. I mean, the guys we just made a little, you know, turn and went a different direction because of a different style of play. And then their focus has just been, you know, really, really solid. You worry about not having a game, you worry about having a week off, but their focus has been pretty unmatched for most of the season. And so I lean in on that. We talk about confidence, playing with confidence, but confidence comes from preparation, and our preparation has been really good this week.
Your backcourt combination of Enrique Pacheco as well as Caden Cunningham, they've been really solid for you guys this year, not only from a scoring perspective, but distributing, also great shooters. But just in terms of that, this is when your guard play, though, really needs to shine when you get to the postseason. Yeah. It doesn't matter what level of basketball it is. If your backcourt's going well, you got a chance to win every time you step on the floor.
Yeah, absolutely. We are, and we've talked about it. These guys, they need to have not just a normal night. I mean, a normal night's pretty good for them. I mean, they're shooting over 40%, but it's the playoffs. You got to step your game up a little bit, and you know, both of them have the ability to do that. They've shown that. Enrique had 27 against Coppell. A few games later, Caden Cunningham had 27. So they both have season highs 27. They're both averaging, you know, close to 14, 15 a game. And so, yeah, we're going to lean in on them a lot, and we need them to have a really good shooting night tonight.
And obviously in this matchup against Birdville, ranked 6th in the state, their go-to guy is obviously going to be Sawyer Dotson, 6'7" guy who can put it on the floor, but he's also deadly from three-point range. A matchup problem there, so what's the kind of thing that you guys have to account for as you all are trying to address him tonight? Because he's so in and out, he can go either way.
Yeah, I mean, he's a special kid. I mean, 2,000 points in a career, that's hard to do. Not many people get to accomplish that. So we'll have our hands full, but, you know, I like our game plan. I mean, we have some really physical guards, some really strong guards. We don't have 6'6", 6'7", you know, to guard him, but we've got some length, some size that I think can bother him. And I mean, he shoots 44, almost 45% from the three-point line. So we just want to run him off the line and make him uncomfortable, make him shoot some shots that maybe he doesn't necessarily want to shoot a lot. You're not going to take everything away from him, but can we just frustrate him?
Right. Limit him a little bit in some respect. I mean, the same thing with a guy like Avery Webb, because he's had a special season for them. Well, that guard for them, he's signed to go to St. Mary's. So what's the thing when you look at him? Because people can get so caught up with a guy like Dotson, but at the same time, you can't forget about the Webb either.
Yeah, absolutely not. I think, and that's what makes Webb maybe a little more dangerous, is he has a little less attention on him. I think everybody looks at Dotson and focus goes to him, and rightfully so. But I think Webb may be a little more dangerous in the sense that, like, he's a lefty, which makes it, a little different to guard. Most time you're guarding right-handed guys. But he's tough. He's very strong. He's not necessarily going to kill you with just overall speed. He's very athletic, but he's sneaky. He's very smooth. So it's kind of the same game plan. What can we do to frustrate him? How do we take him out of a comfort zone a little bit? You're not going to limit him completely and take everything away, but can we just slow him down in some ways?
And I would think, too, in a game like this, and it doesn't really matter what sport it is, but the start might be important, too, because if you guys kind of keep it right there, even maybe a possession one way or the other score-wise, that'll give you even more confidence in a game that you all are not expected to win. A lot of people are going to say this is Birdville's game to lose, that sort of thing. I know you all have really leaned into that. But, again, that first quarter might be very important for how the rest of the game goes.
Yeah, I think so. I think, well, the start of every quarter, getting off to a good start is going to be important for our confidence. They have more big game experience, so we want to start with some confidence. We want to start just a normal, like, let's get in the flow of things. Brewer came out and kind of put it on us, and we were unrattled. That's tougher to do in the playoffs with a team like Birdville. So having a good start is going to be important. And then ending the game, the fourth quarter, they score 66 a game like we talked about. They want to outscore people more than they want to have a gritty game. And so the start and even the finish is going to be really important for us.
We'll look forward to it. Thanks so much for the time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, pregame show continues following this timeout, and you're listening to Aledo Bearcats playoff basketball on NTXVarsitySports.com.
Why are interscholastic sports called the last classroom of the day? Because they teach students important life lessons like teamwork, accountability, and perseverance. School sports are so much more than a game. They're about developing the whole person. That's why they're an essential part of every student's education.
Encourage your student to participate in the last classroom of the day. Interscholastic sports in Texas. This message presented by the UIL and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
Texas drivers, it's time to move up to Mazda at Hiley Mazda of Fort Worth. Get a 2025 Mazda CX-5 Turbo with 0.9% APR or lease for just $259 a month. Or go electrified with the 2026 Mazda CX-70 FEV with 0.9% APR or lease from $299 a month. Plus $750 Mazda loyalty or $500 military appreciation. Hiley Mazda of Fort Worth and HileyMazdaofFortWorth.com.
High school hoops enthusiasts, mark your calendars for the back-to-back UIL State Basketball Championships at the Alamodome in San Antonio. The Girls Basketball Championships take place March 5th through the 7th and is followed by the Boys Championships March 12th through the 14th. Be there to witness history in the making. For all the must-know details and to grab your tickets, visit uiltexas.org/basketball. Again, that's uiltexas.org/basketball. Bearcats and Hawks are out on the court going through their final warm-ups before we tip off tonight's Class 5A Division I, Region I opening round playoff. And with that in mind, let's give you a look at how this region will break down here, because all of these games except for one are being played tonight. Out in West Texas, we're going to have El Paso Chapin taking on El Paso El Dorado. That's a 7 o'clock start out there west, so 8 o'clock our time. Then 6 o'clock tip-off, so they should be underway. They probably are at the half right now between Amarillo Tascosa and Wichita Falls Legacy. Other side of that bracket will feature this game between Aledo and Birdville. And then the other game, as we mentioned in our open, the winner of this game will get the winner between Arlington Heights and Burleson Centennial. 7 o'clock tip-off down at South Grand Prairie High School. Other games of that bracket to tell you about will be El Paso Americas against El Paso High. That's an 8 o'clock Central start tonight as well. And then a 6:30 start, so they've probably just got underway in their game over at Wolfforth Friendship High School. That's Abilene High taking on number 23 Amarillo High in that contest there. Continuing on that side of the bracket, Denton High taking on Saginaw Chisholm Trail. That's a 7 o'clock start at Keller Central High School, so they'll tip off at the same time we will. And then the only game that was played was yesterday was between number 12 Mansfield Timberview and Pasco High, and Mansfield Timberview won that game rather comfortably by a score of 81-52. Again, if the Bearcats are fortunate enough to get through number 6 Birdville tonight. They would get the winner of Arlington Heights and Burleson Centennial. Probably looking at a 5 o'clock tip somewhere, but again, got a lot of work to do as far as these next 32 minutes are concerned. We want to remind you that Aledo Bearcats playoff basketball is a presentation of H5 Sports Barn. H5 Sports Barn and Knife Physio and Performance can help unlock your athletic potential and elevate your game like the Aledo Bearcats. With expert sports physical therapy, tailored recovery plans, and top-notch sports performance training, H5 Sports Barn, proud supporters of the Aledo Bearcats. And by Hiley Mazda. Head to Hiley Mazda of Fort Worth today. Their new state-of-the-art facility is conveniently located just off of I-30. Exit Las Vegas Trail and experience top-notch service and hassle-free buying. Don't forget to ask about this month's special offers. Hiley Mazda of Fort Worth, family-owned and operated for over 30 years. We'll take the quick break. When we come back, we'll give you the starting lineups between the Bearcats and the Hawks. You're listening to Aledo Bearcats playoff basketball on NTX Varsity Sports.com.
Texas drivers, it's time to move up to Mazda at Hiley Mazda of Fort Worth. Get a 2025 Mazda CX-5 Turbo with 0.9% APR or lease for just $259 a month. Or go electrified with the 2026 Mazda CX-70 FEV with 0.9% APR or lease from $299 a month. Plus $750 Mazda loyalty or $500 military appreciation. Hiley Mazda of Fort Worth and HileyMazdaofFortWorth.com.
Why are interscholastic sports called the last classroom of the day? Because they teach students important life lessons like teamwork, accountability, and perseverance. School sports are so much more than a game. They're about developing the whole person. That's why they're an essential part of every student's education.
Encourage your student to participate in the last classroom of the day. Interscholastic sports in Texas. This message presented by the UIL and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
Back here in Argyle, Kevin Longquist and the Aledo Bearcats and the Birdville Hawks are getting through their final preparations before the tip-off of tonight's game. And let's give you a starting lineup look for both these teams. The Bearcats are going to be the home team in this contest this evening. So let's give you Birdville first, as they are the designated visiting team. One senior forward is a 6'6", and that's Gabriel Zachariah. Zachariah is averaging 33.6 points per game. Then the 6'7" senior guard, that's Sawyer Dotson. He is the 2,000-point scorer. He is a scoring headache for a lot of teams, averaging 20.6 points per game. He's also shooting extremely well from three-point range, nearly 42%. He's also very good at the foul line at 82.6 points percentage at the line. He's also averaging 6.6 rebounds per game for him. So the Lipscomb signee is in the starting lineup, of course, for the Hawks. Continuing with their lineup, junior 6'1" guard is Brandon Lohman. The other guard will be senior 6'3", DJ Driver, and then the other guard will be Avery Webb, 6'3". He is a senior. He is signed with St. Mary's down in San Antonio. Webb is averaging 19.9 points per game. He's also the best three-point shooter on this team at 46.1 points. 46.1 points for his percentage is 46.1 is what I'm trying to say. And then for Webb, also shooting very well from his two-point baskets, 51.5%. Very good from the free throw line as well at 73.5% for him. And he's also averaging 4 assists per game. So that's the starting lineup for the Birdville Hawks. We also should be seeing coming off their bench Zaire Pena Warren. He is a 5'10" junior guard, along with Brendan Williams. He is a 6-foot senior guard, and Jacob Johnson, a 6'8" junior forward. Now for the Bearcats, under the direction of Drew Baker in his first season, Enrique Pacheco, the senior guard, he's averaging 15.6 points per game, 2.9 rebounds per game, and 2.8 assists per game. Cooper Hull gets the start tonight, the 6-foot junior. He's averaging a little less than 3 points per game, a little more than 2 rebounds per game, and 1.3 assists per game. Caden Cunningham, well, he's having a great season, of course, 11.8 points per game, 4.6 rebounds per game, 2.8 assists per game, the 6-foot junior guard. Towns Van Huysen is the 6'8 senior post, 14.4 points per game, 6.7 rebounds per game. He's also shooting 36% from three-point range. By the way, should also let you know, too, that Pacheco is at 40.5% for three-point range, and Caden Cunningham nearly 43% from beyond the arc. Final starter for the Bearcats will be senior 6'3 guard Dylan Pipkins, who also can kind of rotate in that 3 spot. He's averaging 5.2 points per game. Also want to point out to you that the Birdville Hawks are coached by Anthony Holman. He's in his 4th year there. And this program got to the 5A state championship game last year before they lost to Beaumont Westbrook in that championship game. So the Bearcats and the Hawks, the Bearcats, of course, in their history, have only won 2 playoff games in this program's history. The last one was 2 years ago, when they won their opening round game, beating a team out of Fort Worth. Last year didn't go so well for them, even though they won the district championship. They lost to Denton High in the opening round 45-40. Players have talked about as far as trying to make amends for that, because they felt like, and this is coming from the Aledo Coaches Show podcast, where both Enrique Pacheco and Caden Cunningham talked about how maybe their work ethic and maybe their drive as far as preparing for that opening round playoff game wasn't as intense as it needed to be for that game against Denton. Not the case, as they say, as they were preparing for this game against Birdville. Of course, when you have a Hawks team which is ranked in the state and has been ranked all season long, they are considered the favorite to come out of this region by many high school basketball experts. That'll get your attention, of course, here. By the way, if you are in the gym listening to us, there is a 20-second delay. So what you're seeing versus what you are hearing is going to be a little bit of a distraction for you, so just keep that in mind. Of course, if you're listening at home and you're not able to make the game, then you're going to be just fine along the ride with us. Bearcats and the Hawks in their uniforms for you. The Bearcats are going to be in their all whites with the orange and black trim on the pant leg or shorts legs, as well as the piping down the legs. And then for Birdville, they are going to be in their all black with green piping down the pants and at the trim of the bottom of their shorts. So that, and again, this is a Fort Worth crew working this game. We have 3 officials working this game. In fact, one of the officials flew in from Lubbock yesterday to catch this game. And actually, I was talking to this crew before tonight's game, and they actually thought this game was starting at 6. So they actually had a little bit more time on their hands before they could get ready for this game. But again, the Bearcats coming into this game at 26-6, District 5A champions. They went 12-0. Haven't played in 11 days. Their last game was on February 13th when they beat Brewer High 49-37, which was their final home game of the season. By the way, I know a couple of the girls members of the girls teams will be here, but the girls head coach Donnie Ott, if he's listening, we're saying hello to him. Donnie's in control of the Aledo gym tonight because he is hosting a playoff game, so he's got that under control there. That game is about to start down there in eastern Parker County. And want to bring in Parker Burrows here, because Parker, you and I have been along for the ride between some of the Paradise regular season games and, of course, the 2 Aledo girls basketball games, our first Aledo boys game tonight.
I think it's our first time looking at the team we're covering.
Yes. But the advantage is having had the podcast of being able to get to know Coach Drew Baker and his players along the way. So getting a feel for them, and watching them in person, of course, for the first time, has a little bit of a different feel for it. But
absolutely.
I think this team, though, again, they can play with a little bit of an edge. They can play with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, knowing that Birdville has the, is the favored status in this game, and that's okay.
Oh, I meant we're on the visitor side,
yes,
looking at the home team, and this is the first time we've seen Aledo be home in basketball.
I think that's right, because the Lady Cats were the visitors in their 2 games last week against Colleyville Heritage and, of course, facing Joshua. Of course, the Lady Cats season unfortunately came to an end last Thursday in the 33-31 loss to Joshua in the area round of the playoffs. And if you didn't hear it, is that Joshua lost to Amarillo Tascosa in the regional semifinals yesterday, Monday, up in Childress by a score of 48-37 here. Of course, we will have every Aledo broadcast for you as long as the Bearcats are playing basketball in these playoffs. And again, if they win, probably looking at a Friday game here. Both teams are about to go to their bench in anticipation of the starting lineup, so we'll take a break. Bearcats and the Hawks about to come your way next here on NTX Varsity Sports.com. Again, if you're just tuning in, tell everyone that you know. If they want to listen in to see how this game is coming, tell them NTX Varsity Sports.com and let them know for sure that it is for free. So nothing to pay for. You get it, listen to it for free. Bearcats and Hawks coming up. You're listening to Bearcats basketball on NTX Varsity Sports.com.
Texas drivers, it's time to move up to Mazda at Hiley Mazda of Fort Worth. Get a 2025 Mazda CX-5 Turbo with 0.9% APR or lease for just $259 a month. Or go electrified with the 2026 Mazda CX-70 FEV with 0.9% APR or lease from $299 a month. Plus $750 Mazda loyalty or $500 military appreciation. Hiley Mazda of Fort Worth and HileyMazdaofFortWorth.com.
Why are interscholastic sports called the last classroom of the day? Because they teach students important life lessons like teamwork, accountability, and perseverance. School sports are so much more than a game. They're about developing the whole person. That's why they're an essential part of every student's education.
Encourage your student to participate in the last classroom of the day. Interscholastic sports in Texas. This message presented by the UIL and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
Some chants of USA here from the crowd here at Argyle. As final strains of the national anthem, Kevin Lonnquist and Parker Burrows here at the Hiley Mazda broadcast table as the Bearcats and the Hawks are about to get underway here as they are going through the starting lineup. If you didn't get a chance to hear Coach Baker's pregame interview with me, talked about the fact that his team has been very well prepared for this game. They've gone over a ton of scenarios. Very happy with the way his coaching staff, made up of Travis Jones, Alex Groff, and David Kubicek, along with Stephen Hodge, have done a great job of just preparing for every kind of situation that they possibly can in anticipation for this game. Now, one thing about the pace of this game to keep in mind, of course, as we mentioned, that the Hawks are averaging nearly 67 points per game, or actually nearly 66, 65.9 to be precise. Aledo's a little over 61 points per game. But I think in some respects, that I think if Drew Baker can get his team to maybe play this into the high 50s, just a little bit below Birdville's average, that might favor his team just a little bit here to see if that can give them a shot to pull off this upset. I think he also talked about on this pregame interview with us about the start. Have to get off to a good start. Can't put themselves in a big hole. They've got to get out to the advantage, if you will, to use an expression. They have to throw the first punch in this. So I think that's going to be something to kind of watch in this start for the Bearcats here. First quarter will always be kind of telling. It's not going to be the referendum on or the narrative of the game, but it's going to tell you what kind of thing you have to overcome if you're the team that's trailing. If it's a lot, then you've got to spend a lot of energy trying to get back into the game just to get it even. If you're playing even, then maybe the energy consumption is a little bit more evened out. Aledo and Birdville benches in this contest, and Aledo's contingent, about a couple hundred have made it up here and have made it up. Bearcats. Obviously, the Birdville crowd is right behind us here at our broadcast table, and a heavy number of Birdville fans here. As you would expect, this is a program that has a great tradition going for it. Got to the state championship game last year. They are heavy favorites to win this game by a lot of pundits, and they are favorites to win Region 1 in Division 1 here in Class 5A. But of course, that's all about the tournament. And as we've seen in the basketball tournament, doesn't matter what level it is, high school, college, or the NBA, if you're not ready to go, you could get beat.
Oh, absolutely, Kevin. And there's so much energy here tonight. You really never know what could happen. And I know there's a lot of local pundits that are, leaning towards Birdville here, but honestly, I'm a little partial towards Aledo, and I'm throwing my hat in the ring for them tonight.
Well, we'll see what happens here. We're about to get this one tipped off. Both of the lineups have been introduced for both the Bearcats and the Hawks. A tremendous season for the Bearcats. Again, consecutive district championships for them. They went 11-1 last year under Brian Blackburn, and now 12-0 under Drew Baker. And if you didn't hear this stat for Aledo basketball, which is making its third consecutive playoff appearance, first of all, that's unprecedented itself. But this program is averaging 24 wins over the last 3 seasons. 20 wins in the 2023-24 season, 27 wins last year in 24-25, and now 26 wins in this season. We are about to get this one underway. Towns Van Huysen and Gabriel Zachariah to tip this one off between the Bearcats and the Birdville Hawks. Happy to have you with us here in Argyle as we are about to get going here in Class 5A Division 1 Region 1 basketball action. The winner moves on to the area round of the state playoffs here. Officials are checking to make sure everything is good to go here. Ball is being brought to the middle of the court. Bearcats are going to be going to the basket to our right. Birdville going to the basket to our left. Tip is underway, and it is fought for and controlled by Birdville, and here come the Hawks. Dribbling with it on the left side with the left-handed dribble is Brandon Lohman, the 6'1 junior guard. He'll hand it off to Avery Webb on the left side. Now to a jumper from the left side, rolling around the rim and in is Sawyer Dotson. He got freed off a screen on the left side, and the Hawks have the first points of the game. It's 2-0. Half-court trap for Birdville. Here come the Bearcats with it. Nearly a steal, but the Bearcats get it, and they got a whistle and a foul against Birdville. That goes against DJ Driver on the pass that was coming toward Caden Cunningham. And so the Bearcats will inbound the ball after the first Birdville foul of the first quarter. Enrique Pacheco will have it. He'll get it off to Cooper Hull. Left-handed dribble. He'll drive the paint. He'll back it out to Dylan Pipkins. Now to Caden Cunningham. Pipkins to Enrique Pacheco at the top. He'll drive, he'll step back, take a three from the top. It's off the back of the iron, no good. Tipped around, controlled by the Bearcats. Blocked shot against Van Huysen was by Zachariah, and here come the Hawks the other way, up 2-0. Driving the baseline is Webb. He misses, and the rebound is taken by Van Huysen. Webb had it, and he just left the layup short. Here come the Bearcats the other way. Cooper Hull on the left baseline. He'll get it off to Pacheco. He is picked up by Lohman. He will drive. He will get it off the glass and scores. Enrique Pacheco with his first basket. We are knotted up at a deuce. Just a little more than a minute gone by in this first quarter. Here comes Dotson at the top. He'll feed it off to Lohman in between the circles. He'll work against Pacheco. He'll dribble it back out between the circles, and hands it off to Webb. With the left-handed dribble, he's picked up by Cooper Hull. Webb will drive against Hull, and he'll throw it up, but he gets fouled by Hull on the way up. So it'll be 2 shots coming for Webb, the 6'3 senior. Webb, who was signed with St. Mary's down in San Antonio, gets 2 free throws for him. He is averaging nearly 74% at the stripe this year and averaging nearly 20 points per game at 19.9. He is a left-hander, and that's one thing that Drew Baker talked about is because the fact that he is a left-hander and the first free throw is good, is that it's a little bit of a different guard. You don't see a lot of left-handers in this game, but when you do, it does kind of take a little bit of a time to adjust to that in terms of just which side he favors, because everyone will normally favor somebody going to the right. The second free throw by Webb on the way, and it's in and out. And the loose ball on the floor controlled by the Bearcats. So 1 out of 2 at the line for Webb. Bearcats have the basketball coming the other way. Cunningham will drive on the baseline. He fires it back out. A three-pointer on the baseline. It's short. That was taken by Hull, but he gets the loose ball, keeps the dribble alive, gets it to Pacheco. In between the circle, he'll fire to Cunningham. He'll take a three, and it hits the Webb. It hits the iron, no good. Towns Van Huysen was trying to get it, but the Hawks come away with it down low. And here comes Webb for a three-pointer at the top on the left side, and it's good. 6-3, the Hawks lead, and here come the Bearcats the other way. It's kind of a token full court pressure, as leading the point is DJ Driver. Pacheco will hold it. Gets it to Cunningham. Now he's double teamed. Back to Pacheco. He will drive, holds it up, has to get rid of it, gets it to Cunningham, who saves it on a high pass. Now he's double teamed in the corner, gets it over to Pipkins, now to Pacheco, now to Van Huysen, who loses it underneath the basket, gets it back out to Pacheco, who tries a three, knocks it down. Enrique Pacheco has all 6 points for the Bearcats. He has all 5 points, so it's a 2, I beg your pardon. And it's 6-5 in favor of Birdville here. 5:10 to play here in the first quarter. Lohman with the ball for Birdville. Drives, he'll go to Webb, who will drive in the paint. He'll fire it back out to Driver, who dumps it inside. Pass underneath comes to Zachariah, and he scores against Van Huysen. And it's back to a three-point advantage for Birdville at 8-5.
There's that height we talked about, Kevin.
Yeah. It's a length thing that Birdville's going to have to contend with. Driving off the iron and no good and missing was Dylan Pipkins. He had a great feed, but he released it a little bit too early. Here come the Hawks the other way. Dotson, who has a basket early, gets it off to Zachariah, unprotected underneath, and now it's a 10-5 lead in favor of the Hawks, and a 30-second timeout is called by Drew Baker. Yeah, Zachariah, the senior 6'6" forward, he already has 4 points. He only averages 3.6 points per game, so the fact that he's already beyond his average here, maybe not the thing that Drew Baker wanted to see early on here, as we have 4:32 to play here in our first quarter.
Texas drivers, it's time to move up to Mazda at Hiley Mazda of Fort Worth. Get a 2025 Mazda CX-5 Turbo with 0.9% APR, or lease for just $259 a month. Or go electrified with the 2026 Mazda CX-70 FEV with 0.9% APR, or lease from $299 a month. Plus $750 Mazda loyalty or $500 military appreciation. Hiley Mazda of Fort Worth and HileyMazdaofFortWorth.com.
Kevin Lonnquist and Parker Burrows here in Argyle after the Bearcats call their 30-second timeout. 10-5 Birdville leads. Aledo has the basketball. Pacheco against the half-court trap. Now gets it to Cunningham, who will drive in the lane. Gets his shot blocked as he was going up with it. And here come the Hawks the other way. A three-pointer from the right side from Lohman. It is off the back of the iron, no good. The rebound comes to Zachariah for Birdville, and he'll scoop and score. He'll finger roll it in over Pacheco. That's a mismatch. He has 6 points early, and it's 12-5 in favor of Birdville. Here come the Bearcats the other way with that half-court trap. Pacheco works against a double team in front of the bench. He gets it stolen from him by Webb, but Webb can't control it, and it goes out of bounds, and so Aledo will get the basketball back. Trailing 12-5 here with 3:50 to play in this first quarter. So the Bearcats are having a little bit of issues against this trap. They are finding some looks, but they are leaving a couple shots short, and that height advantage with Zachariah, who already has 6 of the 12, the pace early, and that might be something that Anthony Holman, Birdville's head coach, wanted to exploit, is use that 6'6" frame. Aledo the other way. Pacheco, a jumper from 15 from the left side is no good. The rebound comes down to Dotson for Birdville, and here come the Hawks the other way. Driver with it over the right side with a right-handed dribble. He'll cross it up now, hands it off to Dotson, who will drive on the right side. He'll kick it out to Webb on the right baseline. He'll use a left-handed dribble, and we got a foul as Webb was making the drive. And the foul will come against Aledo's Grayson Isbell, who checked into the ballgame just a few moments ago for the Bearcats. Second team foul against Aledo. Webb with the basketball. He'll get it over to Dotson, who will sling it into Zachariah, working against Isbell, and he will easily score, against Van Huysen, and he'll easily score, does Zachariah. He already has 8, more than double his season average. It's now 14-5 in favor of the Hawks. Here comes Caden Cunningham the other way, gets it to Pacheco. He'll cross-court it over to Van Huysen in the left baseline, rather in front of the Birdville bench to Cunningham. He's picked up by Driver. Cunningham backs it out, gets it over to Van Huysen. He'll shoot a 3 from the left baseline. It's in and out, no good. But the rebound by Isbell off the back of the iron, no good. The rebound comes to Birdville this way. Driver with the basketball. Boy, that was a great look, too, by Isbell. He just didn't have it go in. 14-5 in favor of the Hawks. 2.5 minutes to play first quarter. Here come the Hawks driving in, losing it off his leg, but being knocked out of bounds off of Webb's hands was Braxton Hamrick, who knocked it out of his hands. And so it'll be off of Aledo, and Birdville will retain possession. Hamrick will check out. And so the Bearcats with their 5. They'll get it to Dotson. He'll take a 3 from the left wing on the base from the foul line. That's good. And it's now a 17-5 lead in favor of Birdville here. 2:10 to play here in the first quarter. Working against a full court press. Isbell with it. Gets it to Pacheco. A 3 from the left baseline. In and out, no good. Fight for the loose ball. That's coming up with it is Cooper Hull for Aledo. Gets it off to Van Huysen, who will lay it up and in. First basket for the Bearcats in a couple of minutes, and they really needed that to stem the tide. Here it was 6-2, then 6-5, and so an 11-0 run. Bearcats get the steal from Pacheco. He'll hold it up. Now wants to drive on the baseline. He will take a jumper. It's off the heel of the rim, no good. And here come the Hawks the other way. Driving with it the left side is Brendan Williams. He'll take a 3. That's off the iron, no good. And the dead ball team rebound will come to Cooper Hull of Aledo. So the Bearcats having to, hopefully they have to overcome this 11-0 run. They've got to try and get some points here and make this a little bit closer before we get to the start of the second quarter. Left all alone in scoring is Van Huysen on a great feed from Isbell. It's now 17-9. Van Huysen with his second basket, and the Bearcats have closed to within 8 points here with 1:15 to play first quarter. Slower pace here for the Hawks as Brandon Lohman will run it. Playing catch now, Driver has it at the top. A 3 at the top for Webb. It's no good, and the rebound comes uncontested to Van Huysen. Here come the Bearcats the other way. Under a minute to go here, trying to get it into double figures as far as the scoring column is concerned for the Bearcats. Isbell with it. He'll toss it to Van Huysen, who tips it to Hull, who will drive, gets it out to Van Huysen. He'll take a jumper from the baseline from 15. That's good, and the Bearcats have 6 straight, as does Van Huysen, and the Bearcats have closed it to 17-11. Good response by the Bearcats. 30 seconds to play first quarter. Dotson with it, gets it over to Lohman. Dotson only has 2 points so far in this game, so a good start for the Bearcats defense. And just as I say that, he scores on a great pass from Avery Webb into him. It's a layup. It's now 19-11. We'll keep it here as Birdville calls a timeout. 19.6 seconds to play. It's Birdville 19. Aledo 11. But the good thing is that the Bearcats didn't let the game run away from them when they were down 17-5. They came back with 6 straight points, all from Towns Van Huysen, to close to within 17-11. Birdville just scored there, but again, Anthony Holman calls a quick timeout here to get his team settled to see what they want to do here on this final defensive possession here. Very clean game to this point. Only 1 foul for Birdville, 2 fouls against Aledo. And remember, when we go to the second quarter, all those fouls will reset. So nothing of note here as far as the Aledo foul situation is concerned. Looks like Birdville will go with a full court press as they are putting both Webb and Brendan Williams on the Aledo side of the court where they have to inbounds, and they'll put Dotson on the ball. Pipkins will have to inbound this. Somebody for Aledo has to come free, and taking that is Caden Cunningham, and he'll get it off to Pipkins, who will drive with the left hand. He'll get it over to Cunningham, who has to beat the 10-second call. And he does he? Well, he barely does. He got a little bit grace from the official. Cunningham will get it off to Van Huysen. Gets it off to Pacheco. A three off a screen. That's good. And that's the way the first quarter comes to an end for the Bearcats. Enrique Pacheco with 8 points. The Bearcats get a big three right at the end of the first quarter. We'll come to the second quarter right after this timeout. It's Birdville 19, Aledo 14. Second quarter comes your way next on NTXVarsitySports.com.
Texas drivers, it's time to move up to Mazda at Hiley Mazda of Fort Worth. Get a 2025 Mazda CX-5 Turbo with 0.9% APR or lease for just $259 a month. Or go electrified with the 2026 Mazda CX-70 FEV with 0.9% APR or lease from $299 a month. Plus $750 Mazda loyalty or $500 military appreciation. Hiley Mazda of Fort Worth and HileyMazdaofFortWorth.com.
Second quarter about to begin here in Argyle. The Bearcats trailing Birdville by a score of 19-14. If you're just joining us, the Bearcats fell into a 17-5 hole, so they finished the quarter on a 9-2 run to cut it to 19-14. The Bearcats scoring looks like this: Enrique Pacheco with 8, Towns Van Huysen with 6, and leading the way for Birdville is Sawyer Dotson. He has 7, and then Avery Webb with 4 points, and then 8 points coming from Gabriel Zachariah here as he returns back to the ball game. Dotson will not start on the floor. Actually, I beg your pardon, he will start on the floor. This is the original starting five for the Hawks in this game, as well as the starting five for the Bearcats here. Aledo ball to start the second quarter. Pacheco with the dribble on the right side. He'll go to the right wing, foul line extended. He's picked up by Webb, gets it to Cunningham, beats a man, drives the right side, flips it back outside to Van Huysen, who gets it stripped from Brandon Lohman of Birdville. He'll drive on the left side. Now he'll back it off, gets it off to Driver, gets it off to Lohman. Now to Dotson on the right wing, foul line extended to Webb. Bounce pass in the post to Watson is no good. Dotson rather is no good, but Zachariah is there to clean it up for Birdville. He has 10, and it's now a 21-14 lead in favor of the Hawks. Steal in the half court by Lohman of Birdville. He'll dump it off to Driver. He misses, and the Bearcats are fortunate to come away with that. Here comes Cunningham the other way. He'll get it off to Van Huysen. A three from the right baseline is off the back of the iron, no good, and here come the Hawks the other way. Here comes Dotson, gets it off to Driver. Between the circles, has to wipe some perspiration off his eye so he can see what he's doing here with the left-handed dribble. He'll toss it back out to Webb, and he will keep it between the circles here. 21-14 lead in favor of the Hawks. 6:50 to play, second quarter. Lohman with the basketball now in front of the Aledo bench, trying to run this set play. Gets it off to Webb. He will drive left side, goes all the way up and scores. He went against Caden Cunningham, had what he wanted there, and was able to beat him off the bounce and scores for Webb. That 6 points and a 23-14 lead in favor of the Hawks. Cross-court pass to Enrique Pacheco. A three on the left side is good. 11 points for Enrique Pacheco, and the Bearcats have cut the lead to 23-17. 6:10 to play here in this second quarter. And now we got an official timeout here. Not really sure what the stoppage is for, but they wanted to get something that might have been something as far as Driver was concerned, something with his eye. He might have been poked, so the official stopped play. Checking in for the Bearcats is Josiah Jenkins. So Jenkins for the Bearcats will come into this one. And of course, Jenkins, pretty good shooter himself. With the ball for Birdville is Webb. He'll get it off to Lohman. He leaves his rebound a little bit too strong, and Van Huysen with the rebound for the Bearcats. Here comes Pacheco the other way. He looks back to Drew Baker for a play. Picked up by DJ Driver. Right-handed dribble. Will swing it over to Jenkins. Bounce pass at the foul line to Van Huysen. He holds it off to Pacheco. Takes a three at the top. It's off the heel of the rim, no good. But Cooper Hull comes with the rebound for Aledo. Van Huysen with the ball, gets it out to Pacheco. The Bearcats want to settle it down on this offensive possession. Isbell with the ball on the left side to Hull at the top. To Pacheco, now to Jenkins in between the circles. He looks for Hull. Bearcats are going to make a substitution here in just a moment. Van Huysen back to Hull in front of the Birdville bench. Hull with the dribble, gets it to Josiah Jenkins. He'll bounce pass it to Enrique Pacheco. Reverse layup is good. That's a heck of a pass there by Cooper Hull, and the Bearcats have cut the lead to 4, 23-19 at the 5-minute mark of this second quarter.
23-19, 23-19.
And we got a foul against Aledo this way, as holding the basketball up was Dotson. Looks like the foul will go against Isbell. But the one thing that the Bearcats are doing on defense is that they're not allowing Dotson to catch it too much so that he can take a lot of freedoms here. Again, he only has 1 3-pointer. He has a couple of other 2-point baskets. But other than that, they've really kind of held him in check. This is a player in Sawyer Dotson averaging 20.7 points per game. Bearcats have done a fairly decent job defensively on him. And here comes Dotson the other way. He'll have to kick it back out. Gets it to Brendan Williams. Now at the top to Driver. Trying to run the offense. Gets it out to Dotson. He's picked up by Braxton Herrick. Driving it for Birdville. Williams, he gets it outside to Webb, who has to reset the offense. Left-hander will put it on the floor, gets it over and drives it off to Dotson. Gets it knocked out of his hands, and a foul called against Aledo. Drew Baker not liking that call. The foul will go against Braxton Hamrick. Thought it was a pretty good defensive play, though, by Hamrick as he got into Dotson, and that's a big size differential there. You got Hamrick at 5'10", and Dotson at 6'7", so that's 8 inches there, but Hamrick kind of being a thorn there for Dotson. Unfortunately gets called for the whistle. The Bearcats with their second team foul of this second quarter. Webb will take the inbounds pass. He'll drive the left baseline over Van Huysen. It's off the iron, no good. Van Huysen with the rebound. Here come the Bearcats the other way. A chance to make it a 2, maybe a 1-point game here at 4:10 to play here in this second quarter. Van Huysen, a long 3 off the back of the iron, no good. And we got a whistle, and I think it went over the backboard, technically went over the backboard, so that's going to be out of bounds in favor of Birdville. So the Bearcats aren't able to make it that one-possession game here, and so Birdville will get it back here. Slowly walking it across the floor is Avery Webb, the 6'3" senior guard. Left-hander puts it on the deck, in the paint, fires it over to the right side to Brendan Williams. He will cross it to Driver. He will drive off the iron, no good. Actually throws it over the rim, but he gets it back, gets it to Webb. Off the backboard, no good. But now call an offensive foul on Avery Webb. Taking the charge for Aledo was Grayson Isbell. Stood his ground on that, and the Bearcats get the turnover, and they'll get the ball back at 3:43 to play here. Heck of a defensive play. The Bearcats have really locked it in here defensively through the first 4 minutes and change of this second quarter. Another chance to make this a one-possession game. Caden Cunningham with the right-handed dribble, now behind his back, through his legs, gets it over to Hamrick. Fires it over to Van Huysen at the top, to Isbell on the left wing. Now to Enrique Pacheco, who has 13 points for the Bearcats in this ball game. Pacheco will take the pass from Isbell, slowing down the play, gets it to Van Huysen on the right wing, foul line extended, looking to go inside, now back to Pacheco. Man-to-man defense here by Birdville. Pacheco finds Cunningham, cuts in off the iron, and it just rolls off the front iron, no good. The Bearcats are coming up with the rebound. Coming up with it was Isbell, but he got fouled on the putback. Looks like the foul will go against Gabriel Zachariah. And so 2 free throws coming for the Bearcats for Grayson Isbell.
Did you get my 23-19 reference? That iconic scene from Monsters, Inc. Sorry, the way you said it.
2 free throws coming here for Grayson Isbell, the 6'4" sophomore. His future very bright in front of him and getting very valuable minutes here. Isbell on the year averaging 63.6% at the foul line. First one is good, and we do have a one-possession game here. By the way, for Isbell, he's also averaging 2.5 points a game, so he's getting close to right at his average. 23-20 with the second free throw to come for Isbell. Sophomore right-hander, and it's off the heel of the rim, no good. Fight for the loose ball, the Bearcats get it. Caden Cunningham with it, gets it to Pacheco. He'll drive, pop it out, now he'll get it off to Braxton Hamrick, now to the right side to Van Huysen. One dribble, gets it off to Pacheco. 23-20 game here Under 3 minutes to go here. Hamrick a three on a screen. It's off the heel of the rim, no good. Great screen, though, by Towns Van Huysen there as he gave Hamrick a great look at it. Just didn't go in. Here comes Birdville the other way. Dotson with the left-handed drive on the left baseline. Tries to feed it. Loose ball on the floor. Saved, though, by Lohman. He'll get it off on a three on the back iron, though, is no good by Brendan Williams, and here come the Bearcats the other way. Here comes Pacheco. He'll drive, leaves it short. Fight for the loose rebound is no good. It'll be on the floor as Van Huysen was going up for, but it looks like he was fouled, and the foul will go against Gabriel Zachariah. It's on the floor, so it's not anything in terms of shooting for the Bearcats. Third team foul for Birdville in this game. Outlet pass comes to Van Huysen. A three at the top to tie. It's off the back of the iron, no good, but Van Huysen gets it back, so he steps into a 16-footer from the right wing. That's long, and here comes Birdville the other way. I think Towns would like to maybe redo that, although he did have a great open look, and sometimes that can be too enticing to not take it. Zachariah the other way for Birdville on the left baseline. He will drive against Van Huysen, and he will score using his left hand. It's a 25-20 lead in favor of Birdville. Under 2 minutes to play here in this second quarter.
Kevin, I think that was the longest time we've seen Birdville go without scoring this game.
Yeah, it's been a while. This Bearcats defense has been very good, holding Birdville to only 6 points in this quarter. Van Huysen in between the circles, holds it up, now dumps it back out to Pacheco, who wants to try and get a screen, but he'll have to get rid of it to Van Huysen. Now to Hamrick, to Pacheco. Back to Hamrick. Now back to Pacheco. He wants to drive, loses his footing, throws it up, and they're going to call a timeout, or they're going to call a travel. Looks like they're going to get the timeout as Drew Baker will make it. Sometimes the officials will give a little bit of the benefit of the doubt to the players trying to get the timeout, and that's what the Bearcats did. We'll take the timeout with them. 25-20, Birdville leads with 1:17 to play here in the second quarter. Back after this timeout.
Texas drivers, it's time to move up to Mazda at Hiley Mazda of Fort Worth. Get a 2025 Mazda CX-5 Turbo with 0.9% APR, or lease for just $259 a month. Or go electrified with the 2026 Mazda CX-70 FEV with 0.9% APR, or lease from $299 a month. Plus $750 Mazda loyalty or $500 military appreciation. Hiley Mazda of Fort Worth and HileyMazdaofFortWorth.com.
We're back in Argyle tonight, and Dotson, Birdville's top scorer, hasn't scored tonight, Kevin.
In this second quarter,
in this second quarter. Aledo's defense has really shown out in the second quarter, and I think they're more poised than a lot of people expected them to be.
I think if you told Drew Baker that Sawyer Dotson would be held to 7 points with a minute and change to play here in the second quarter for a guy that averages 3 times that amount, he would absolutely take that. Now, he's got the ability to take a game over, does Dotson, so Bearcats still have to be mindful of that. They get the ball following their timeout. Isbell on the drive, but he loses the basketball, and then he dribbles it on the baseline, and that's
for
a turnover
over
against
10
the Bearcats.
years.
That's exactly what Drew Baker did not want, and so the Bearcats have to go back on defense here as Webb will walk it up across the timeline, opposite side of us in front of the scorer's table. He works off a screen from Dotson. Now he'll get it off to Dotson. He will drive to Zachariah, who will drive on the right baseline, and he leaves his drive short, but the foul will go against Van Huysen. It's been interesting here because, again, Gabriel Zachariah is a guy that does not score a lot, but he's also a guy that's been taking advantage of the matchups. He's physically stronger than Towns Van Huysen. That's why he's got 12 points. He will be shooting 2 free throws. Now, if you want to know about his free throws, not that great, 36.8%. Of course, that might be the announcer's jinx on him. Right-hander on the way, and it rims off. So maybe not so bad on that. 1:06 to play here in the quarter. And again, Sawyer Dotson has not scored. He's averaging 20.6 points per game. He has not scored in this quarter. Neither has Avery Webb, their second leading scorer. He has not scored in this quarter as well. Second free throw on the way, and he leaves it short, and the rebound comes to Aledo the other way. But throwing it away was Cooper Hull as Caden Cunningham went up the floor, wasn't expecting the pass, and so the Bearcats unfortunately turn it over here with a minute 2 to go. Just an unfortunate turnover here as they had the rebound, but Cunningham did not expect that pass to come from Hull. Birdville will inbound right in front of the Aledo bench here. Final minute of this second quarter, 25-20, Birdville leads. They have led pretty much the entire way, only been tied at once at 2. Webb with the drive, pushed off by Isbell. He'll drive on the right side, and now we got another foul. I think this will be on the floor. The Bearcats still have 1 foul to give. They had 3 fouls before that personal against Isbell. Now, Isbell picks up his second personal. He's the only one with 2, so this play will be inbounded. No free throws yet. Here with 50.6 seconds to play. Watt, Dotson will take it, he'll get it to Zachariah, drives inside the paint, has a mismatch off of Van Huysen, but he leaves it off the front of the rim. No good. Bearcats have the basketball, down 5, 40 seconds to play first half. Pacheco will walk it across. He's picked up by Webb at the half court. He'll get it to Van Huysen, gets it off to Isbell, now to Hamrick. He loses it, but he's able to shovel it off to Pacheco. He was going to take a 3, but then lost the handle, but saw Pacheco. Pacheco will drive, and he will leave his basketball into the basket. Boy, it hung around the rim as he floated it up there, and it hit every single part of the rim and went down. 15 points for Enrique Pacheco, 25-22. Final seconds here of this quarter. Webb, a 3 at the top. He's fouled with 2.9 seconds to go, and that'll be 3 shots coming for Avery Webb. Not the foul the Bearcats were looking for. That's the 15th foul, but 3 free throws coming, and that's the second personal going against Cooper Hull.
A little unhappiness surrounding that foul.
Yeah, I mean, it's the right call. It just is coming at a very unfortunate time. First free throw coming for Webb. He leaves it short. Webb was 1 out of 2 on his first trip in the first quarter, now 1 out of 3. At the very least, the Bearcats would be down 27-22, could be 25-22. Second free throw on the way, and that bounces around the rim and drops through, and it's now 26-22. So the Bearcats have got to work quickly here as substitutions are made, as Van Huysen checks out and Isbell checks back in. 26-22 with 1 more free throw to come here for Avery Webb. Left-hander, a couple of dribbles, bends the knees, fires it, and it's off the rim, no good. Here come the Bearcats the other way, firing a 3 at the 3-quarter court mark, and leaving it way wide was Enrique Pacheco. But that's the way the first half comes to the end, and that's the way Drew Baker was hoping that this game would go to give his team a chance. They're in it, folks. Bearcats trailing 6th-ranked Birdville by a score of 26-22. Back with the numbers after this. You're listening to Aledo Bearcats Playoff Basketball on NTXVarsitySports.com.
Texas drivers, it's time to move up to Mazda at Hiley Mazda of Fort Worth. Get a 2025 Mazda CX-5 Turbo with 0.9% APR, or lease for just $259 a month. Or go electrified with the 2026 Mazda CX-70 FEV with 0.9% APR, or lease from $299 a month. Plus $750 Mazda loyalty or $500 military appreciation. Hiley Mazda of Fort Worth and HileyMazdaofFortWorth.com.
Why are interscholastic sports called the last classroom of the day? Because they teach students important life lessons like teamwork, accountability, and perseverance. School sports are so much more than a game. They're about developing the whole person. That's why they're an essential part of every student's education.
Encourage your student to participate in the last classroom of the day. Interscholastic sports in Texas. This message presented by the UIL and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
Kevin Longquist courtside here at the Hiley Mazda broadcast table, where the Bearcats at halftime here in Argyle, trailing number 6 Birdville by a score of 26-22. Let's give you the numbers for the Bearcats at this point. They are 3 out of 12 from three-point range, 25%. They're shooting 46% on their 2-pointers, so they've done very, very well there. The difference really at the line is Birdville. They're 9-9 on their 2-point on their two-pointer, so they've had an issue there to kind of stop them, in terms of inside. Now, the Bearcats, from a rebounding standpoint, they've really played well here. They have 17 rebounds. Cooper Hull has 7 rebounds, 4 on the defensive side, 3 on the offensive side. Towns Van Huysen has 5. Now let's give you the Bearcats scoring here through this first 16 minutes of the ballgame. Enrique Pacheco, he's been money so far for the Bearcats. He has 15 points. Towns Van Huysen has 6. 1 point for Isbell. That's all the scoring for the Bearcats. Only 3 scores for the Bearcats at this point here. 1 out of 2 at the foul line for Aledo. But one thing to let you all know about as far as the free throws for Birdville is concerned, they are 2 out of 7, or I should say 3 out of 7 at the foul line here. The one thing that's killing them is the fact that Gabriel Zachariah for Birdville leads the way with 12 points. The Bearcats have done a great job against the 2 leading scorers for Birdville. At this point, Sawyer Dotson has 7 points, and then Avery Webb, the second leading scorer, has 7 points as well. Between those two, in that second quarter, they combined for 1 point. The defense was exceptional for the Bearcats against those two. It's one of those things that I think if Drew Baker would say, I'd rather have somebody else kind of beat us, which is what's being done by Gabriel Zachariah with his 12, than let Sawyer Dotson come off. I think the important thing to remember here is that the Bearcats just did not want Sawyer Dotson, who has the ability to create on the floor, but he also has the ability to catch and shoot here. This is a young man who averages 9 3-point attempts per game. He averages nearly 4 makes per game, and he really hasn't gotten into a flow. He has 1 3-point make in this game so far, and they have crowded him very, very well. Also want to let you know, too, in terms of the scoring, keep in mind, if you were just joining us here at halftime, 26-22, Birdville leads Aledo. The Bearcats were down 2-0, scored to make it 2-2. Then it was 6-2. Then Enrique Pacheco hit a 3-pointer to make it 7-5, or 6-5 rather. And then Birdville ran off the next 11 to make it 17-5. That's when Drew Baker called the timeout to kind of gather his troops. And since then, the Bearcats were able to go on a run to close within 19-14 at the end of the first quarter rather. They closed the game now on a basically since that 17-5 start for Birdville. Aledo has outscored Birdville 17-9 in the last quarter plus. So that's how they've been able to cut into this lead, cut it from 8 points to 4. And Parker Burrows, as we bring you back into this, it's going to be about defense. It's going to be about making Sawyer Dotson very uncomfortable. They've done that through the second quarter here. They got to keep this up for another 16 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely, Kevin. And what we've seen tonight is, I think, a basketball team nobody really expected to come out. These Aledo Bearcats have played phenomenally. Their defense is poised. They seemed ready. They seemed like they did the preparation work. Before the game, you were talking about the conversations had this week in the Aledo Coaches Show podcast. And I think they were right. I think that they put a lot of practice into this, and you can see that on the court. They're very relaxed. They seem happy to be here, and there's not a lot that they seem surprised by.
Yeah, they expect to win this game, and again, they were very confident going in. And that's the one thing. You knew you were probably going to get a surge from Birdville, a big run, and see how do you respond to something like that. It was interesting because yesterday I was looking at some of the high school basketball playoff games that were played, was tracking in 6A, I was tracking number 2 North Crowley taking on Hearst LD Bell, and that game was tied at 13 at the end of the first quarter. Then it was a 26-21 lead for North Crowley at the end of the first half, and then the Panthers were able to pull away from the Blue Raiders and win by about 17 points. Now, this is something that the Bearcats have to be mindful of here, is if we thought the start of the first quarter was good, was important for them, maybe the start of the third quarter even more important now that they're down only 4. And so something to keep in mind. And by the way, while we have a moment, let's also remind you, too, for high school hoops enthusiasts, mark your calendars for back-to-back UIL State Basketball Championships at the Alamodome in San Antonio. The Girls Basketball Championships take place March 5th through the 7th and is followed by the Boys Championships March 12th through the 4th. Be there to witness history in the making. For all of the must-know details and to grab your tickets, visit uiltexas.org/basketball. Again, that's uiltexas.org/basketball. Hawks decided to cut their halftime short. They're already back on the floor going through their warm-ups. I think Anthony Holman might have had a little bit of a discussion with his boys after that kind of a flat performance in the second quarter, flat by their standards. Of course, this team really, really good. Obviously, 27-5, played in the state championship game last year, 27-5. They actually finished second in District 6-5A to Denton High. Denton High, that was kind of a fun district to track because Denton High finished 11-1, and Birdville finished at 10-2. If you didn't know the story of what happened and why Aledo wound up playing Birdville, because all the talk was that they thought they were going to get Denton Ryan, was what happened on the final game of the season was that Richland beat Denton High in the final game of the regular season, 58-56 in overtime. And because of that result, it shifted everything in that district and dropped Birdville into this Division I rather than Denton Ryan, and that's how the Bearcats wound up getting them rather than Denton Ryan. Kind of a weird synopsis. That's kind of the way it goes sometimes in playoffs. And if you missed Drew Baker's comments that they were because Drew was telling me for the last couple of weeks that they were 90% sure they were going to get Denton Ryan. And then when they found out late Tuesday, because Aledo's season ended on February 13th, they had their bye, which last Tuesday, February 17th, was the last day for the regular season for the boys basketball season. But the Bearcats actually had their bye because they ended it the previous Friday. They were going through the first couple of days of preparing for Ryan. Then when they got the news that they were going to be getting Birdville, not a shock. I mean, you still got a lot of time to prepare. You basically have 5 days. You have Wednesday through Saturday because you can practice on Saturday, and then they had yesterday, Monday to prepare, well, and then a little bit of a shoot around today.
There's a chance that preparing for, to take on Denton Ryan helped them prepare for this game phenomenally well too, because you're preparing to take on the reigning state champ.
Yeah. And the one thing about this team is, I can remember when we were doing the Aledo Coaches Show podcast, actually in late January, right before the winter storm hit, we actually wound up doing that podcast outside in the Rotunda area. Was the Bearcats were off that coming Friday, so they kind of dodged the winter weather that Friday, and they were going to have the chance. And of course, all those games were moved from Friday to Thursday, but they were using that first district bye to go out and scout potential playoffs. And so Drew Baker had a crew go look at Ryan and had a crew start looking at Birdville. So this has basically been about a month in planning, just getting early looks at these teams and starting to prepare for this. We'll take a 30-second timeout here. Bearcats are back on the floor, back for the third quarter right after this. You're listening to Aledo Bearcats basketball on NTXVarsitySports.com.
Texas drivers, it's time to move up to Mazda at Hiley Mazda of Fort Worth. Get a 2025 Mazda CX-5 Turbo with 0.9% APR or lease for just $259 a month. Or go electrified with the 2026 Mazda CX-70 FEV with 0.9% APR or lease from $299 a month. Plus $750 Mazda loyalty or $500 military appreciation. Hiley Mazda of Fort Worth and HileyMazdaofFortWorth.com.
Happy that you're with us here on NTXVarsitySports.com in this Class 5A Division I Region I opening round playoff at Argyle High School. About to start the third quarter. Number 6 Birdville leads Aledo by a score of 26-22. Enrique Pacheco leading the way for the Bearcats. He has 15 points. For Birdville leading the way is Gabriel Zachariah. He has 12. Birdville's ball to start this third quarter. And the Hawks will go to the shoot to the basket to our right, which is in front of their bench. The Bearcats will go shoot to the basket to our left, which is in front of the Aledo bench. Having some good numbers here. Again, if you're just tuning in, tell everyone to join us at NTXVarsitySports.com. Again, it is a free live stream event. Here comes Birdville out of the first possession of the second half. Missed shot by Dotson. He gets it back off the rebound, and he drops a three from the left side, and that opens the lead back up to 29-22. So he's into double figures at 10 points. Aledo comes the other way. Cunningham with the basketball, feeds it into the post, but there is nobody there, and here come the Hawks the other way. A three right from Holman on the way. It's off the back of the iron, no good. Cooper Hull comes up with it for Aledo. He will flip it out to Dylan Pipkins. Gets it back to Pacheco at the top here. 7:20 to play here, third quarter rather, in Argyle. Van Huysen with the ball, holds it up, gets it off to Caden Cunningham. Cunningham has not scored for the Bearcats yet. He flips it back out, drives it to Pipkins, now to Van Huysen. A jumper from the right baseline is no good, but fighting for the loose ball is Cunningham, gets it to Van Huysen, who leaves his putback short, and Zachariah comes away with the rebound for Birdville. Here come the Hawks the other way. This is Webb driving into the paint, left-handed dribble, now kicks it back out to Driver. He'll get it between the circles. He'll drive with the left hand, fires it up, and it'll go in, and the foul. Wow, great move there by DJ Driver. Was patient and then put the first step down on the floor, went downhill, scored, drew the foul. Foul will go against Caden Cunningham. That's his first, and that's Aledo's team first, so the chance of the and one here for Driver. Driver's first basket of the game. It's 31-22. The Hawks trying to make this a double-digit lead here. They have scored the first 5 points of this quarter. Aledo has yet to score. Right-hander on the way and knocks it down. Driver is a 78% free throw shooter. Bearcats against the full court press. Van Huysen takes a three from the right wing. That's too long. Fight for the rebound on the dead sprint. His driver comes literally driving in, but it goes off his hands and out of bounds. And Aledo will keep it here. Trailing by 10, 32-22, early moments of the third quarter. Pacheco on the inbounds pass. He's been kind of quiet lately. He flips it off the back of the iron, no good. Here come the Hawks the other way. Brendan Williams will have it. He fires it over to the left side, and it's too high, but collected by Webb, who falls into the Birdville bench. And then the pass from Williams goes off the hands of Brendan Lohman out of bounds. The Hawks were a little bit out of control on that sequence. The high pass to Webb, who was throwing it back to Williams, and so that kind of got discombobulated here, and the Bearcats get it back. They're on offense now. Kicked by Webb out of bounds, and so Aledo will retain possession underneath its own basket here. 6:10 to play here in the third quarter. It is Birdville 32 and Aledo 10. Again, Caden Cunningham has not scored. He is the third leading scorer for this team. He has to get going. Pacheco off a screen. A three from the left baseline is too high and too wide, and over the basket, no good. Here come the Hawks the other way. Leaving it short is Webb, and the Bearcats come away with it. Losing the basketball, though, is Van Huysen. He'll turn it over. Unfortunately, the Bearcats were trying to run a break, and they just couldn't get it set up, and so they turn it back over. And Birdville will inbound in front of its own bench here. Under 6 minutes to play here, third quarter. Happy that you're with us here on NTXVarsitySports.com. Bearcats are trying to get out of this drought to start the third quarter, trailing by 10. Driver with the basketball, looking for a Zachariah screen. He'll get it. He'll take a three from the top. It's no good. Van Huysen comes away with the rebound for the Bearcats. And here comes Pacheco the other way. He'll flip it over to Cunningham. Holds it up, gets it to Pacheco. Back between the circles. He's picked up by Webb. Now to Van Huysen on the right wing. Foul line extended to Hamrick. At the top, he'll flip it to Pacheco. To Cunningham. He'll take a three. It's good. Big shot for Caden Cunningham. His first made three. And the Bearcats will take a timeout. We'll take a 30-second timeout with them here. Bearcats are down 32-25. 5:25 to play here in the third quarter. You're listening to Aledo Bearcats playoff basketball on NTXVarsitySports.com.
Texas drivers, it's time to move up to Mazda at Hiley Mazda of Fort Worth. Get a 2025 Mazda CX-5 Turbo with 0.9% APR or lease for just $259 a month. Or go electrified with the 2026 Mazda CX-70 FEV with 0.9% APR or lease from $299 a month. Plus $750 Mazda loyalty or $500 military appreciation. Hiley Mazda of Fort Worth and HileyMazdaofFortWorth.com.
I want to remind you of the Aledo Coaches Show podcast coming your way every Monday night during the 2025-26 athletic competition season for Aledo Athletics. We were there at Parker County Brewing Company on Monday. We're back there this coming Monday. And we want to remind you that that podcast is brought to you by H5 Sports Barn. H5 Sports Barn and iPhysio and Performance can help unlock your athletic potential and elevate your game like the Aledo Bearcats. With expert sports physical therapy, tailored recovery plans, and top-notch sports performance training, H5 Sports Barn, proud supporters of the Aledo Bearcats. Birdville ball coming out of the Aledo timeout. Webb will get it to Dotson. He'll take a three on the left side. It's good. Well, he got off that screen to Dotson. That's his third three of the game. Second in this quarter. He's starting to heat up. He's up to 13 points. Cunningham tries to answer with a three. It's off the front of the iron, no good. And a foul over the top on Van Huysen, as coming away with the rebound was Dotson. I think if Cunningham gets a little bit closer, that thing's going in, because it was right on line, but just a little bit short. Second foul against Van Huysen. The second team foul against the Bearcats here in this third quarter. Birdville 35, Aledo 25. Webb holds the dribble high. He'll get it over to Lohman on the left side, and he'll get it to Driver in front of the Birdville bench. To Webb at the top, trying to get a screen from Dotson. Now he'll back it off. Lohman thinks about a three. Now he'll push it back out to Webb. Picked up by Cooper Hull in between the circles. They're trying to free him up. There's Dotson. He's trying to get him freed up to see if they can get a screen set up for him. But taking a three at the top and knocking it down is Webb. He just kind of took his time, measured it, and knocked it down. 4 threes for the Hawks here in this quarter. They're up 38-25. That's their largest lead of this game. Their largest had been 12 at 17-5. Bearcats the other way, Cunningham to Van Huysen. If you're Aledo, though, you can't panic here. You've got to make sure that you keep running your offense and stop taking a lot of quick shots. But Van Huysen sizes up a three. It rims off. Ball on the floor. We're going to get a tie up here, and I think it's going to favor the Bearcats. Yep, the arrow does favor the Bearcats, and so they will get the ball. Actually, wasn't a bad shot by Towns. He just left it a little bit wide, and it rimmed right off. He's had a couple of those go against him here. 3:58 to play here in the third quarter. 38-25 is the lead for Birdville, as Van Huysen will check out. Now we got a whistle and a stop as another substitution, as Isbell will check out as well, because the Bearcats had 6 players on the floor. They're going with Hull, Hamrick, Pacheco, Pipkins, and Cunningham. Three is off the mark, no good, and here come the Hawks the other way. In transition, driving and missing is Webb, and coming away with the rebound is Caden Cunningham. Bearcats get a break there. That could have been a 15-point lead on the fast break. Cunningham the other way. Driving it to Hamrick. He'll kick it out to Pacheco. He's been pretty quiet since the middle stages of the second quarter, and unfortunately Pacheco travels as he was holding up his dribble, and he slid his pivot foot as he was trying to kick the pass back out, but he is called for the travel. Another turnover against the Bearcats in this third quarter. 38-25. Birdville leads here. More than half the third quarter gone. Full court press by the Bearcats. Middle of the floor, Zachariah takes it. He'll take it over to Dotson, who fires up an air ball out of bounds. A little quick on that shot was Dotson, the Lipcomb signing. He is human, folks. He does miss every now and then, and that one was pretty much an air ball. So it goes out of bounds. The Bearcats will get the ball back here, trailing by 13. Pacheco on the inbounds. He'll get it off to Pipkins. Gets it to Pacheco. Cross-court pass to Cunningham as they beat the press. Cunningham will drive. Makes a great fake move. Gets it, scores, and is fouled. That's an and one coming up for the Bearcats. Great move by Caden Cunningham. Foul goes against Dotson. That's his first. A chance for a three-point play for Caden Cunningham. He has 4 with a chance to make it, or actually he has 5 with a chance to make it 6. On the way, three-point play is converted. Bearcats have cut it to 10 at 38-28. So they will drop back into their half-court defense. Birdville the other way as Lohman will walk it across. Gets it over to Webb on the left side, picked up by Hamrick. He will drive off the glass, no good. Bearcats come away with it. Here comes Pipkins with a man from behind. That's Driver on him. Pipkins will get it off to Pacheco, loses the basketball, and here comes Birdville the other way. Lohman picks up the free ball. He'll drive. He loses it as he fires it off the bottom of the backboard as actually a shot. I guess they will call it a shot. Bearcats the other way. Pacheco trying to score. He leaves his layup short off the front of the rim, and here comes Birdville the other way. Now Pacheco may be playing a little bit too fast here. He's got to slow just a little bit down. I know he wants to score, but just be a little bit more patient. Driver driving on Pacheco, and Pacheco commits the foul, and Driver will go to the line, shooting 2 free throws. Might be a case for Enrique. He's played a super game, but just a couple moments here in this third quarter where he's maybe trying to press the issue too much and playing a little bit too aggressively, just to be a little bit more relaxed. But again, Aledo has counted on his leadership throughout the year. DJ Driver at the line for 2. First one is good. He made 2 free throws earlier. Driver at the line, looking for his second free throw. Here he's up to 4 points, looking for a 5th. Zachariah will check back in for Birdville as they will go with this double, if you will, double bigs look, even though Dotson really doesn't play down below on the post. He's more of a wing. Dotson has 3 makes, so he's pretty close to what his game in, game out average is. Second free throw for Driver is good. He's up to 5, and the lead back to 12 at 40-28 here. 2:20 to play second quarter. Bearcats the other way. Cunningham to Pacheco. Harassed at the top by Brendan Williams of Birdville. Playing catch with Cunningham. Now Pacheco drives the left side, holds it up. Now he'll take a jumper from the left side. He gets the kind roll as the ball looked like it was going to go fall off to the left side, but it got the nice roll and it curled inside the net. He's got a bucket, his first basket in quite a while. He's up to 17. Dotson the other way, he scores. He's up to 15 in the lead. Back to 12 at 42-30. But again, a good play there by Pacheco, though. He was patient on that offensive sequence a few moments ago. Bearcats the other way against this half-court trap. Now they set the offense up. Hamrick with it to Pacheco, to Cunningham. He will drive in the middle of the paint. He backs it out, gets it off to Hamrick. Now to Cunningham. 3 at the top. It's good. Caden Cunningham with a big third quarter. He's up to 9. And it's 42-33. Bearcats have got to get a stop on defense to make this a little bit closer going into the fourth quarter. Webb the other side to Dotson on the right wing. He'll hoist up a 3 from the right side. It's good. And he takes another 3 and a timeout called by Birdville. We'll take it with him. The 4th 3 for Sawyer Dotson. He's got 9 in this. He's got actually 11 in this quarter. And it's 45-33 in favor of Birdville. Back after this timeout.
Texas drivers, it's time to move up to Mazda at Hiley Mazda of Fort Worth. Get a 2025 Mazda CX-5 Turbo with 0.9% APR or lease for just $259 a month. Or go electrified with the 2026 Mazda CX-70 FEV with 0.9% APR or lease from $299 a month. Plus $750 Mazda loyalty or $500 military appreciation. Hiley Mazda of Fort Worth and HileyMazdaofFortWorth.com.
Kevin Longquist back here at the Hiley Mazda broadcast table. Latter stages of the third quarter, 1:06 to play. Number 6, Birdville leading Aledo by a score of 45-33. The offense has really gotten started here for Birdville in this third quarter. They have scored 19 points and extended a 26-22 halftime lead to 45-33. Aledo's offense hasn't been bad. In fact, Caden Cunningham has had a great third quarter. He has scored all 9 of his points in this period to keep the Bearcats afloat. Another basket. The other basket has gone to Enrique Pacheco.
For over 10 years,
got to get some stops on defense and try and quiet down Sawyer Dotson, who has 11 points in this quarter. He's up to 18. Bearcats with the ball, under a minute to play here in this third quarter. Pacheco will drive. He'll kick it back out. He'll get it to Josiah Jenkins. Now back to the top to Pacheco. Jenkins had checked in at the timeout here after Birdville called that timeout. 45 seconds. Pacheco trying to get a screen from Van Huysen, or at least have him come out. Van Huysen will hold it. Now gets it back to Pacheco. 35 seconds to play third quarter. Pacheco will drive against Webb. Goes to the left side. Pipkins takes the pass. Takes a 3 from the right baseline. It's no good. Here comes Webb the other way for Birdville. Driving away. He'll make a spin move. Loses it on the drive up, but a foul committed by Josiah Jenkins with 23.9 seconds on the clock. The Bearcats have picked up their 4th team foul. For Jenkins, that's going to be his first. So no free throws for Birdville in this quarter. Pass will come in bounds to Webb. He will drive the left baseline. Now he'll back it out. Picked up by Cooper Hall. Now to the top to Driver here. Hawks will hold for one shot here. Waning seconds of this third quarter, 45-33, Birdville leads. A screen at the top for Dotson. Gets it over to the left side to Driver, who will drive the lane. Puts it, gets his shot blocked. Josiah Jenkins with it. Pacheco will fire it at the top, and it's off the backboard, no good. And that's the end of the third quarter. So the Bearcats were able to keep it in check in the final minute and change, but they got some work to do in the fourth quarter. We head to the fourth here in Argyle in this Class 5A Division I Region I opening round playoff. Number 6 Birdville 45, Aledo 33. Back for the fourth after this.
Why are interscholastic sports called the last classroom of the day? Because they teach students important life lessons like teamwork, accountability, and perseverance. School sports are so much more than a game. They're about developing the whole person. That's why they're an essential part of every student's education.
Encourage your student to participate in the last classroom of the day. Interscholastic sports in Texas. This message presented by the UIL and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
Texas drivers, it's time to move up to Mazda at Hiley Mazda of Fort Worth. Get a 2025 Mazda CX-5 Turbo with 0.9% APR or lease for just $259 a month. Or go electrified with the 2026 Mazda CX-70 FEV with 0.9% APR or lease from $299 a month. Plus $750 Mazda loyalty or $500 military appreciation. Hiley Mazda of Fort Worth and HileyMazdaofFortWorth.com.
NTX Varsity Sports.com, home of Aledo Playoff Basketball here in Argyle. We begin the fourth quarter. Birdville will get the ball, and the arrow flips back to the Bearcats. So here comes the Hawks the other way. This is Webb driving the left side. He'll throw it back out. It gets it actually deflected out of bounds by Cooper Hull. But the Bearcats defense has pretty much got to be locked down here in this fourth quarter and maybe allow less than double figures, but they've got to get hot offensively. Got to go, maybe gamble a little bit more on defense, maybe not so much early, but they've got to do something here probably at the 5-minute mark in closing. Webb with the ball at the top. He'll get it to Dotson on the left side, picked up by Pipkins. Pipkins pushes him out. Now holding the ball is Lohman, their point guard at the top, tries to work off a Dotson screen. He'll drive, gets it to Zachariah, off the window, no good. And here comes the Bearcats. And Pacheco drives, 3 from the left side, actually to Pipkins. Now to Jenkins, who will kick it out, but then he loses it. But they're going to get a foul on Birdville. Wow, DJ Driver not happy with that. First foul of the fourth quarter going against Birdville. That goes against Brandon Lohman. But Driver was the one who was animated. He acted like he was the one who picked up the foul. I think he was just upset with the call. But the Bearcats get it back here. 7:15 to play here in the fourth quarter. 45-33, Birdville leads. Van Huysen holds up the dribble on the right side, gets it to Cooper Hull, now to Cunningham at the top, swings it to Pacheco at the top. Now he'll back it out, gets it off to Hull. He'll drive, he'll take a jumper from the right wing, that's good. 15-footer for Cooper Hull, and the lead cut to 10. 45-35, Cooper Hull with his first basket of the contest. Hawks the other way. Lohman with it, he'll swing it on a baseline pass to Dotson, who will drive, holds it up, and now he gets fouled by Hull, who is crowding him. For Hull, that'll be his third personal. He's really the only one in foul trouble for the Bearcats. Everybody else has 2. Pacheco has 2, and Van Huysen has 2. And with that, picking up his third, Bearcats are going to make a substitution as Grayson Isbell will check in. And he's going to replace Cooper Hull. So Isbell in, Hull out. Birdville ball underneath its own basket here. 6:37 to play in this fourth quarter. Inside pass is knocked around, but somehow a fortuitous bounce to Driver. It was off 2 Aledo hands, and Birdville has it. Webb with it on the right side. Works against Hamrick. Still holding up the dribble. Crossover dribble. Now he'll get it over back to Driver at the top. Now he's met by Cunningham. Tries to work off a Zachariah screen. Here comes Driver on the left baseline. He'll throw it back out to Zachariah. He'll do a pin move, but he'll leave it short, well short. And Aledo has the basketball. Coming away with it is Cunningham. He'll get it over to Pacheco. And now we got a timeout here by the officials. I think we got maybe some blood or a player injury, but no turnover or any violation for either team. The officials wanted to stop it. There was something with Zachariah with his face, or maybe he got hit in the face, so they gave him a second. Aledo ball, Pacheco will drive. He'll throw it off the back of the iron, no good, but it looks like he will get 2 free throws out of this. Sometimes when you're a scorer and you have that scorer mentality, throw it up and see if it goes in, and maybe you get free throws, or maybe you get an and one, but this will be 2 free throws for Enrique.
With the chance to make it an 8-point game. There was something on the court. Someone threw something, yeah.
All right, thank you very much. First free throw on the way for Pacheco is no good. Pacheco at the line this year at 75.7%. Has to make the second one. Bearcats trying to cut into this 10-point lead, bring it down to single digits. And more importantly, make this a 3-possession game here with just a tick under 6 minutes to play in regulation. Second free throw on the way is good for Pacheco. He's now up to 18 points, leading scorer for the Bearcats. It's 45-36. Bearcats with the full court press. Here comes Birdville the other way. Dotson drives, lays it up and in, and he'll get a chance to make it an and one. That's a heck of a move there by Dotson as he took it on the right side. Explosive first step, and that's why he's going to be playing Division I basketball, because he just steamrolled to the basket. Foul will go against Cooper Hull on the drive, excuse me, Braxton Hamrick on the drive, and Dotson up to 20 points, make it 21 as he does complete the 3-point play, or the and one as we like to say it nowadays. 48-36, Birdville with the lead. 5:45 to play here, fourth quarter. Cross-court pass to Cooper Hull. He'll drive over the left side, gets it over to Van Huysen, who's been pretty quiet since the first quarter. Pass is intercepted by Brandon Lohman for Birdville. Coming the other way against Cunningham. He'll back out, gets it over to Dotson, and he leaves his shot attempt off the back of the iron. Bearcats get it. Pacheco comes out of there with a lot of hands. He'll size up a 3, takes it long off the back of the iron. Tip by Van Huysen is no good, and the ball settles into the arms of Sawyer Dotson of Birdville, holding a 12-point lead. 5:10 to play here in the fourth quarter, and now Anthony Holman, the fourth-year head coach for Birdville, telling his guys to hold up the dribble, try and control some clock. Lohman will drive in. He will take a shot from 15. That's in and out, no good. And here comes Cunningham with the rebound for the Bearcats as they come the other way, down 12, under 5 minutes to play. He'll take a 3, does Cunningham at the top, leaves it short off the front of the iron. He deflects the ball, though, does Cunningham on the loose ball. He gets it to Pacheco, gets it to Cunningham, holds it up. Then he'll drive. He'll take another 3, but we got a whistle before that. And I think Drew Baker, did they get a timeout for Aledo, or what did they call here? It is a timeout that Drew Baker called for Aledo. And I think the Bearcats are out of timeouts. They've at least used 3 that I'm aware of.
I think they have 1 left, Kevin.
I think they have 1. Okay.
Birdville has 4, and that was an unfortunate timeout call.
Yeah, the foul winning, or excuse me, Cunningham on that first 3 attempt left it short. Driver came out of the rebound for Birdville, but he couldn't control the rebound. And then on the on that scrum on the loose ball, Cunningham was able to get it back, and he was about to take another 3 when Baker called the timeout. Aledo at 26-6, Birdville at 27-5. Aledo winning the District 5-5A championship. 4:41 to play here in our fourth quarter. Birdville 48 and Aledo 36. Both of these teams well below their scoring averages. Looks like they may not even come close to that here, because Birdville averages 66 points a game, and Aledo is well over 61 points per game. So I think it might be a case of this could be the pace I think that Drew Baker wanted, maybe a little bit slower than he wanted. I think his team has played a little bit too fast at times. They've had some open looks, they've just missed them, but they've got to get something inside the paint here. But now they're left in a 4-possession game, down 12. 4:35 to play. Van Huysen at the top takes the pass from Pacheco, back to Pacheco. He will drive. He'll take a floater from about 6. It's off the iron, no good. But Isbell with the rebound for Aledo. Gets it to Cunningham. He'll drive, leaves it to Van Huysen, and he'll stuff it. 48-38. Van Huysen with his first basket since the first quarter, and the Bearcats have cut it back to 10. Here come the Hawks the other way. Driver looks over to the Birdville bench to run it out. See if they want to pull the ball out here up in a 4-possession game. And he will make a half-hearted move inside the paint, and then he'll back it out to his driver. He's picked up at the top by Van Huysen. And here comes Van Huysen trying to knock it out of driver's hands. He will drive, kicks it out to the right. A three from the baseline is off the iron, no good from Brendan Williams. And here, excuse me, here come the Bearcats. Cunningham thinks about a three, gets it off to Pacheco. He will drive, gets it to hole three. Good! Cooper Hull with the three from the left side. He's now got 5, and it's 48-41 in favor of Birdville. The Bearcats get exactly what they want out of that sequence. Webb takes a three from the left side. That's good. Boy, that's a pretty looking shot there from Avery Webb. Webb now up to 13 points. The two leading scorers doing the job here so far for Birdville. It's back up to 10 at 51-41. A 30-second timeout called by Birdville and Anthony Holman. I think they're down to 2 timeouts. Aledo, I think, at 1. 3:16 to play here in our fourth quarter. Again, if the Bearcats are able to rally here in this final 3:16, and they're going to pretty much have to pitch a shutout the rest of the way, they would move on to the area round to take on either Burleson Centennial or Arlington Heights. They tipped off at 7 o'clock down at South Grand Prairie High School.
We need a surge here from the Bearcats like we saw in that second quarter.
It will be Aledo's basketball following that three from Webb. Again, he's got 13. Sawyer Dotson at 21. He has 14 of his 21 here in this second half. Pacheco with the ball for Aledo, and they've got to basically score every possession. To Hamrick, now to Cunningham at the top to Pacheco. He tries to work off a screen. He'll drive, put it on the deck. Now he'll take a shot from about 12, misses it. Van Huysen with the putback. It's off the iron, no good, too strong. And here comes Birdville the other way with less than 3 minutes to play. Webb with it, he'll get it over to Driver. Picked up by Pacheco at the half court. Left-handed dribble, he'll put it in the paint, now he'll back it out. And it kind of broke Pacheco's ankles there on that drive, but Pacheco recovers and is able to regain the defensive move. Driver will hold it out. Again, this is kind of a four corners offense here, unless they got a great look, and they do get one, and getting it blocked is Webb, and here come the Bearcats the other way down 10. But Hammer turns it over. 3-point basket, or I should say an easy transition basket for Birdville. Missing the layup, though, was Webb. Going back up with the rebound and missing was Brandon Lohman, but he got fouled on the putback. So 2 free throws coming for Lohman at the line. He has not scored, but trying to make this a 12-point lead at 51-41 if he makes both of these free throws here. Lohman at the line, 85% at the foul line, and he makes the first, and it's 52-41. Lohman's first point of this game. Again, Gabriel Zachariah had 12 early points here. Hasn't scored pretty much since the middle stages of the second quarter, but the offense has been taken over between Sawyer Dotson and Avery Webb. Second free throw is no good, and the Bearcats come away with it down 11. Here comes Pacheco to Caden Cunningham. He will put it on the deck, works against a double team, gets it over to Hull. He'll take a shot, leaves it short. And coming away with it is Driver for Birdville. Under 2 minutes to play. 52-41. Bearcats have played a really solid basketball game, just missed some shots here. Driver all the way, he kicks it back out. Now they're playing keep away. Drew Baker urging his defense to come out. Webb with it. He'll get it off to Dotson. Now back to Webb. This is kind of now a four corners look here as they want to burn the clock, which is now their friend here with 90 seconds to play. Here comes Webb. He will drive all the way, and he'll hold it out. He'll kick the pass back out. Bearcats have got to start thinking about fouling, and Cunningham does just that for Aledo here, as they've got to stop the clock, which they do with 1:23 to play here in the fourth quarter. Third personal going against Cunningham. That's also the 4th team foul against Aledo. So one more puts Birdville at the free throw line, or at least we're double checking that to make sure that it is 4 team fouls against the Bearcats, which it appears to be. (52-41), a minute 23 to play. We got a stoppage on the court as Dotson is tying his shoe. Cooper Hull will check out. Josiah Jenkins checks back in for the Bearcats. Pipkins, Van Huysen, Cunningham, and Pacheco on the floor for the Bearcats. Pass comes into Webb, and he gets fouled immediately by Josiah Jenkins, who does have some fouls to give with 1:21 to play. That's the 5th team foul, so that now will put the Hawks at the foul line. Bearcats have had a tremendous season here. 26-6, back-to-back district championships. 2 free throws coming for Avery Webb. He's missed a couple tonight. First one on the way for the left-hander is good. Rolled around the rim and dropped through. So it's back up to a 12-point lead. Nothing for the Bearcats to hang their heads about. They've really gone toe-to-toe with Birdville here. Second free throw on the way is in and out, no good. The loose ball comes to Driver of Birdville. That's not good for Aledo. And we got another foul committed because the Bearcats have to lengthen this game. Van Huysen commits the personal. Towns now with his 3rd personal of the game. And shooting free throws will be DJ Driver. Driver with 5 points. Again, a good crowd here has come into this gym in Argyle here in Denton County. And the first free throw bounces around and rolls off, and so he'll have a second one coming. Driver for the year at 77.8%. Second free throw for him. Bends the knees, lets it go, misses the second one. So the Bearcats with a little bit of a break. Josiah Jenkins comes down with it for the Bearcats. He'll hold it up, gets it to Pacheco. In between the circles, he'll take a 3 at the top. It's off the backboard, no good. Comes down to Driver, and he'll get fouled immediately by, I believe, Caden Cunningham, who will be picking up his 4th foul. Now the fouls are adding up for the Bearcats. Cunningham has 4. Cooper Hull has 4. Towns Van Huysen has 3. Pacheco has 2. 2 free throws once again coming for Driver here at 1:05 to play. 53-41, Birdville leads. Both Pacheco and Cunningham will go over to Drew Baker to have a word. First one on the way, good. It's up to a 13-point lead. Now that makes it a 5-possession game here. Pipkins will check out, and Pipkins will check in, rather, and Isbell will check out. Second free throw for Driver on the way. Rolls off, no good. And the team rebound comes to Josiah Jenkins of Aledo. To Cunningham on the right side, quickly up the floor. Drives it, now kicks it back out to Pacheco. Tries to work. He loses it, now spins around, takes a jumper. That is off the back of the iron, no good. Zachariah with the rebound for Birdville. 45 seconds to play. And another foul by Josiah Jenkins. That'll go against Lohman. And it's kind of looking like Aledo's season is about to come to an end here with 43.2 seconds to play. Jenkins picks up the foul. 2 free throws for Lohman. First one rims off. I mean, if you're Aledo, you're happy about this because Birdville has certainly missed its fair share of free throws. Second one on the way is good, and it's 54-41. 55-41, excuse me. And wait a second, we got a stoppage here. I think we're trying to reset. I don't know if something got on the floor, if they're checking something on the scoreboard clock.
They didn't start the game clock.
They didn't start the game clock is what they didn't do. Thank you, Parker. So 40.9 seconds to play. Cunningham with it. Left-handed dribble between the legs. Now gets it over to Pacheco. He's picked up by Webb. He'll drive the left baseline. Pacheco tries to spin. Now has to get rid of it. Gets it over to Hamrick. Now to Cunningham on the right wing. A three-pointer that rims out. No good. Rebound comes down to Dotson. And we're down to 20 seconds. And this one will be over shortly. I think Drew Baker has told his team to call it off. They'll get it up. Webb will take it all the way in and score. And we're down to 10 seconds. And this game is almost over. 57-41, the Bearcats will hold up the ball at half court. And this Class 5A Division I Region I Championship Bi-District opening playoff game is over. Final score here in Argyle. It was the Birdville Hawks 57, the Aledo Bearcats 41. Birdville improves its record to 28-5 and will move on to the area round later this week to take on either Burleson Centennial or Arlington Heights. A fantastic season for the Aledo Bearcats comes to a close at 26-7. Stick around, the postgame show comes your way next. You're listening to Aledo Bearcats playoff basketball on NTXVarsitySports.com.
Texas drivers, it's time to move up to Mazda at Hiley Mazda of Fort Worth. Get a 2025 Mazda CX-5 Turbo with 0.9% APR or lease for just $259 a month. Or go electrified with the 2026 Mazda CX-70 FEV with 0.9% APR or lease from $299 a month. Plus $750 Mazda loyalty or $500 military appreciation. Hiley Mazda of Fort Worth and HileyMazdaofFortWorth.com.
Why are interscholastic sports called the last classroom of the day? Because they teach students important life lessons like teamwork, accountability, and perseverance. School sports are so much more than a game. They're about developing the whole person. That's why they're an essential part of every student's education.
Encourage your student to participate in the last classroom of the day. Interscholastic sports in Texas. This message presented by the UIL and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
The Aledo Bearcats basketball season is over tonight here in Argyle in Denton County. The final score tonight in this Class 5A Division I Region I opening round playoff was Birdville, ranked 6th in the state, 57, and Aledo, 41. The Bearcats really did a great job in the second quarter. They had closed a 17-5 lead at one point in the first quarter, got to within 26-22 at halftime, but a big third quarter by Sawyer Dotson from Birdville opened it up and was able to stretch this lead out where they led 45-33 going to the fourth quarter, and then they were able to control things in the fourth quarter and win by 16 points. Kevin Longquist here at the Hiley Mazda broadcast table. The Bearcats, again, just a tremendous season for them. They end their season at 26-7. Before we get out of here, just give you the final point totals here for the Bearcats. They were led in scoring by Enrique Pacheco. He had 17 points. He had a huge first half. He had 15 of those in the first half, but the Birdville defense really did a great job of shutting him down in the second half for the most part. Pacheco did get a lot of great looks and wasn't able to knock a lot of his shots down except for one, but he finished with a team-high 17 points for the Bearcats. Caden Cunningham for the Bearcats, their second leading scorer. He added 9 points. All of those came in the third quarter. Towns Van Huysen finished with 5 points coming from Cooper Hull to lead the way for the Bearcats in scoring tonight. For Birdville, they were led by Sawyer Dotson. He led with 21 points. He had 14 of those 21 in the second half. He was really good in the third quarter, which helped the Hawks extend that lead going to the fourth quarter. So he leads with a game-high 21 points. Avery Webb finishes with 16 points. Adding 12 was Gabriella Zachariah. He was big early for them. He had some matchups down low that really created problems for the Bearcats underneath. He finished with 12. Coming up with 3 points was Brandon Lohman, and with 6 points is DJ Driver for Birdville, and that's the way the scoring looked for Birdville in this opening round playoff. We've had a tremendous time bringing you Aledo playoff basketball, both on the girls' side last week and the boys' side this week. Unfortunately, only one game for Aledo this year in this playoff run, but a fantastic season overall. Again, we want to remind you that the Aledo Coaches Show podcast will come your way next Monday night, 7 o'clock start at Parker County Brewing Company. We'll talk with Drew Breaker to wrap up that season. And, of course, NTXVarsitySports.com will be your home for the Aledo Spring Sports with softball and baseball coming up. And so Parker Burrows, that's going to be your baby to take care of the softball and baseball teams. Now you have an assignment to do here. It's your job to keep those teams going because softball got to the state semifinals last year and baseball won a state championship, so it's on you.
It's a good back-to-back. I would hope to... There's a lot of opportunities there for the baseball and softball team.
Yeah, exactly.
It's always, it's America's pastime. It's high school's pastime. I'm excited to watch some baseball and softball coming your way here in just a couple weeks.
And we'll pick up the Bearcats and the Lady Cats softball teams once they get into their postseason. So that'll come around late April, and then obviously the softball season ends right around toward the end of April, and then the baseball season, the playoffs will start either last week of April, first weekend of March. And those are usually best-of-3 series, and so.
And Kevin, you can't help but be proud of these Bearcats,
no.
man. I mean, the girls played phenomenally, played their hearts out. The boys tonight looked incredibly poised. Their defense was the best I think I've seen in a long time. So I'm really proud of these Bearcats.
Yeah, and it's one of those situations that when you hear a lot about Sawyer Dotson for Birdville, you don't really appreciate it until you watch it to yourself. But there are plays that he made in this game. He was human. He missed a couple of shots that were ugly on his part. But there's a reason why he's going to be playing at the mid-major level in Division I college basketball next year. He signed with Lipscomb earlier this year, and he will be going down to that program in the Atlantic Sun Conference. Lipscomb has gone to the NCAA tournament a couple of times. They're having a pretty strong season. They're not in first place in the Atlantic Sun, but they're challenging it. I think I saw that they're like 17 wins and 11-5 in conference play. But again, you have to appreciate Sawyer Dotson to appreciate what he is. And of course, Avery Webb, a really solid guard. Those two combined for 37 of their 57 tonight in this 57-41 win. We've really had a blast bringing you Aledo postseason basketball here on NTX Varsity Sports. It was an experiment that's really what it was, an experiment that was put together over the last couple of weeks. We can't thank Brandy Belk, the Aledo athletic director, as well as Superintendent Dr. Susan Bone, for giving us the green light to put these together. Of course, we experimented with the Paradise boys and girls basketball teams a couple weeks ago to kind of see how is this streaming thing going to work, and it turned out that it worked out pretty darn good. And so we converted over to the basketball teams for Aledo for these last 2 weeks. We hope you enjoyed it here. And again, look for ntxvarsitysports.com to bring you playoff softball and playoff baseball for Aledo. And
Kevin, it couldn't be possible without our broadcast table sponsor, Hiley Mazda. So big thank you for Hiley Mazda to be allowing us to broadcast to you guys from the Hiley Mazda broadcast table here in Argyle tonight and in Godley last week. It's been awesome.
Yeah. Just
a huge thank you to our sponsor, and we look forward to coming back to you from the Hiley broadcast table for baseball and softball.
And we will definitely tweet it out. So look for ntxvarsitysports.com. Look for Parker Burrows. He is all things when it comes to new media. And again, he will get the word out when it comes to Aledo softball and baseball playoff coverage. But we're happy that we brought it with you. Hope you had a chance to. And again, just keep this streaming mechanism in the back of your minds for softball and baseball, and then maybe for 2026, 27 for basketball and for softball and baseball again. And of course, the Bearcats football program will be on 92.1 Hank FM, and we'll be broadcasting the Bearcats when they move up to Class 6A. They are in a district with all the Arlington schools, along with Weatherford and Granbury. We'll look forward to bringing you that coverage on 92.1 Hank FM this coming August. But again, NTXVarsitySports.com is going to be your voice for Aledo playoff softball and baseball coming up here late April, so stick around for that when it's those postseason's time to stick around. Once again, the final score here in Argyle in this Class 5A Division I Region I opening round playoff. It was the Birdville Hawks 57, the Aledo Bearcats 41. The District 5A champion Bearcats closed their season at 26-7. For Parker Burrows, I'm Kevin Lonnquist. So long from Denton County.
Texas drivers, it's time to move up to Mazda at Hiley Mazda of Fort Worth. Get a 2025 Mazda CX-5 Turbo with 0.9% APR or lease for just $259 a month. Or go electrified with the 2026 Mazda CX-70 FEV with 0.9% APR or lease from $299 a month. Plus $750 Mazda loyalty or $500 military appreciation. Hiley Mazda of Fort Worth and HileyMazdaofFortWorth.com.